A mafia boss named Richterfield forces a wheat farmer to sell his land. The farmer refuses, and Richterfield responds with brutal violence. From a distance, the farmer's son Diego watches in horror as his father is killed. Tears stream down his face, but he remains hidden. Soon after, one of Richterfield's drivers notices Diego. Instead of turning him in, the driver urges him to escape into the forest. It was in that moment Diego realized his life would never be the same. This is prepare to die. By late afternoon, Diego returns home. His grief deepens when he finds his mother murdered by Richterfield's men. At that moment, the same driver appears and introduces himself as Silas. He apologizes for failing to stop the violence, but promises to protect Diego. Rather than bringing him to America, Silas decides to send Diego to his hometown in China. There, Silas's father and youngest daughter will care for him. With no other choice, Diego agrees and departs by ship the same day. In China, Diego is welcomed by Silas's father, a martial arts master. He also meets Silas's youngest daughter, who trains under her grandfather's strict guidance. From then on, Diego begins his own training. Day by day, he learns discipline and skill, practicing side by side with Silas's daughter.
Through the years, I grew stronger. I wanted to return and get my revenge, but
10 years pass. Both grow into skilled martial artists. One night, memories of his family's tragedy overwhelm Diego. He unleashes his anger on a punching bag until his grandfather approaches. Seeing his pain, the grandfather warns him not to lose himself in revenge. He reveals that Silas had once posed as Richterfield's driver for his own reasons. Silas's eldest daughter had also been a victim of Richterfield's cruelty. Yet Silas never succeeded in striking back and instead became trapped in Richterfield's criminal circle. That is why he risked everything to save Diego. Hearing this, Diego's fury grows even stronger. He understands that Richterfield's cruelty destroyed not only his family but also Silas's. The next morning before dawn, Diego leaves in secret without telling his grandfather. He boards a ship bound for America, focused only on one goal: to hunt down Richterfield and avenge his parents. During the voyage, two thugs attempt to rob him. A fight breaks out, but Diego defeats them. Despite this, the disturbance draws the attention of local authorities. He is arrested for public disorder and forcibly dropped off in Mexico, far from his intended destination. At the same time, Richterfield meets with one of his right-hand men. He orders tighter security for kidnapped women, as a conglomerate is expected to arrive soon to purchase them. His crimes now extend beyond land seizures to drug trafficking and human trafficking. Back in Mexico, Diego stops to rest at a bar. There, he notices a man named William playing cards. Moments later, two men confront William and try to force him to leave with them. William refuses, and a fight erupts. At first, Diego stays out of it, but when he hears Richterfield's name mentioned, he realizes the attackers are mafia henchmen. He immediately joins the fight, and together he and William defeat them. William quickly urges Diego into his car before the police arrive. Once they reach the beach, William allows Diego to rest and asks about his background. Diego explains that he grew up in China and is now heading to Texas. While talking, Diego notices a logo on William's car and questions whether he works for Richterfield. William clarifies that he once worked for Richterfield. His younger sibling was killed by the mafia, so he escaped and stole one of Richterfield's cars. That is why the henchmen are still hunting him. Diego realizes he misjudged William and apologizes for his earlier suspicion. Diego then reveals his true purpose: to avenge his parents by killing Richterfield. He offers William a chance to join him. William, still holding a grudge for his sibling's death, accepts without hesitation. Meanwhile, at Richterfield's headquarters, two henchmen return after failing to capture William. To make up for it, they present a kidnapped woman. When pressed, they admit William escaped. Displeased, Richterfield orders Silas to take the woman away and commands the men to find William again at all costs. Not long after, Diego and William share a meal together. During the conversation, William asks why Richterfield killed Diego's parents. Diego reveals that Richterfield once tried to force his parents to sell their land, and when they refused, he murdered them without hesitation. Soon after, they catch a woman attempting to steal William's car. Diego and William give chase. William tries to stop her, but she resists. Diego steps in, and together they subdue her. When questioned, the woman introduces herself as Bianca. She explains that she targeted the car because of the logo connected to Richterfield. Bianca reveals that she was once one of Richterfield's victims. Although she escaped, many of her friends remain in captivity. Hearing her story, Diego shares that he and William also have their own vendetta against Richterfield. He invites Bianca to join their mission to both avenge their losses and rescue her friends. She agrees without hesitation. That night, the focus shifts to Richterfield, who meets with Silas and two henchmen. He prepares to purchase farmland in a nearby village. Silas suggests handling the deal with the two men, but Richterfield refuses, insisting on attending himself to secure the land. Meanwhile, Diego, William, and Bianca reach one of Richterfield's large estates spanning thousands of hectares. Bianca explains that all of the land was taken through corruption and intimidation. Farmers were forced to sell, and the area is now planned to become the largest drug factory in America. Diego vows that this plan will never succeed. He declares that Richterfield must be stopped before the factory is built. The three light a campfire and rest while discussing their next move. A short time later, one of Richterfield's henchmen, James, approaches and points a gun at them. He warns that outsiders are not allowed in Richterfield's territory. When his guard lowers, Diego quickly overpowers him and ties him up. With the situation reversed, Diego demands to know why James works for Richterfield. James explains that his family's safety is constantly threatened. To protect them, he is forced to obey. Diego realizes James is not an enemy by choice. He asks Bianca to untie him, then invites James to join their mission. James refuses, choosing his family's safety over direct involvement. Even so, he offers moral support and wishes them success against Richterfield. The next day, Diego, William, and Bianca visit the home of Silas, Richterfield's former driver. Silas is shocked to see Diego, since he believed the young man was still in China with his grandfather and youngest daughter. Diego apologizes for leaving without permission and explains that his need for revenge against Richterfield could no longer be contained. He also introduces his two companions who share the same mission. Diego asks Silas to reveal the location of Richterfield's headquarters and the times when the boss is usually present. At first, Silas refuses, afraid that confronting Richterfield will cost Diego his life. But Diego reminds him of the fate of Silas's eldest daughter, who was once a victim of Richterfield's cruelty. The words strike him deeply. After a long pause, Silas finally agrees to help. That night, the group prepares for the mission. Under Silas's guidance, they plan their attack and ready their weapons. Once everything is set, Diego, Silas, William, and Bianca head for Richterfield's base. When they arrive, they move carefully through the compound. Bianca eliminates two guards, while Diego handles another.
The hell?
Inside, they discover kidnapped women and quickly free them. Bianca insists on leading an assault upstairs to take out Richterfield's right-hand man, while the others continue the rescue. She succeeds, then hurries back to rejoin Diego, who is still helping the captives. Diego instructs her to guide the women to safety, while he, William, and Silas press forward to confront Richterfield. Before leaving, Bianca hands Diego her hairpin, telling him it might prove useful. The situation changes quickly. After Bianca departs with the women, Diego and his group are ambushed. Surrounded, they are captured and beaten by Richterfield's men. The henchmen report to their boss, who orders that the intruders remain alive for now, since he intends to torture them first. Before going to the captives, Richterfield reveals a photo of Silas's father and youngest daughter, who have also been abducted. He explains that he had long suspected Silas, so he sent men to China to seize his family. Meanwhile, Diego, William, and Silas endure a beating. In secret, Diego uses Bianca's hairpin to work at his handcuffs. Soon after, Richterfield appears and threatens to kill Silas's father and daughter. Silas begs him to spare them and offers his own life instead, but Richterfield coldly declares that he will kill Silas and his family altogether. Before Richterfield can act, a car suddenly crashes into the compound and opens fire on his forces. From the vehicle steps James, who has finally chosen to side with Diego and his companions. His arrival forces Richterfield and his men to retreat upstairs. James nearly falls into danger, but Diego saves him in time.
Yeah.
Together with Silas and William, they push forward and clash with Richterfield's soldiers. During the chaos, two of Richterfield's men are suddenly struck down. Bianca has returned to support the group, turning the fight into an intense shootout as more enemy reinforcements pour in. Diego and Silas then break away to search for Richterfield, while Bianca, James, and William hold off the remaining guards. Inside Richterfield's chamber, they find Silas's father and youngest daughter being held hostage. Richterfield forces them to disarm, then makes a move that leaves Silas badly wounded. Despite Silas's injury, Diego continues the fight. Richterfield proves to be a former Special Forces soldier, displaying advanced combat skills that leave Diego struggling. Meanwhile, Bianca, James, and William defeat the last of Richterfield's henchmen and rush to join Diego. In the middle of the battle, Richterfield demands to know why Diego wants him dead so badly. Diego reveals that his parents were murdered by Richterfield years ago. Shocked, Richterfield realizes Diego is the child he once believed had been killed. The fight resumes, with Richterfield nearly overwhelming Diego. At the last moment, Silas's youngest daughter breaks free and joins the fight. Even against two opponents, Richterfield maintains the upper hand. But Silas, still alive despite his wounds, fires a desperate shot that opens a chance for Diego. Fueled by rage, Diego unleashes a brutal assault, determined to avenge his parents. James intervenes, urging him not to kill Richterfield but to let him face justice in prison. Richterfield mocks the idea and tries to grab his weapon again. In that instant, Bianca throws a knife, and Diego, unwilling to risk any more lives, ends Richterfield once and for all. With Richterfield dead, Silas, gravely injured, takes his final breath.
I'm proud of what you did today.
Just hang on a little while longer. Just hang on. Silas.
Diego gathers Richterfield's land deeds, vowing to return them to the farmers who were forced to sell. Moments later, a sheriff arrives and is stunned by the destruction. Diego steps forward and offers to take responsibility. The sheriff refuses to arrest him, admitting he too despised Richterfield, and instead tells them to leave. The next day, Diego, Bianca, James, and William meet again. They agree to form a team dedicated to hunting down those who abuse their power. In that moment, Bianca kisses Diego, revealing her feelings at last. The end.